So hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Deep Dive Knowledge Talk. Welcome. Tonight we're tackling the GenAI Divide. So many AI investments fail to deliver returns due to poor measurement and trust issues. We'll explore how external partnerships, so learning from shadow AI and strategic adaptation, can unlock real business value from your generative AI efforts. What key challenges do organizations face in translating their investments in GenAI into tangible business outcomes, especially considering the high percentage of initiatives that fail to generate significant returns?
So organizations face several key challenges in turning their investments in generative AI into real business results. First, there's like a big gap, or what we call the GenAI Divide, where most companies are not seeing any return on their investment. Imagine planting a garden. If you only water a few plants and ignore the rest, you won't get a pretty good harvest. In the same way, so many companies focus their efforts on flashy projects that don't yield significant results while neglecting areas that could really benefit from AI, like back office functions. Second, there's the issue of measurement. It's like trying to weigh a bag of feathers without a scale. Companies struggle to measure the impact of their AI initiatives accurately, which makes it really hard to see what's working and what isn't. Third, there's just a lack of trust and social proof. Companies are often hesitant to invest in new technologies without seeing others succeed. So first, it's like just wanting to jump into a pool, but waiting for someone else to dive in first to make sure it's safe. Lastly, the focus of AI spending is heavily skewed towards sales and marketing, so capturing most of the budget. This is kind of like putting all your money into candy instead of buying a balanced meal. While sales and marketing are so important, neglecting other functions can prevent companies from achieving meaningful transformation. These challenges create a really tough environment for organizations trying to turn their GenAI investments into real value.
Could you elaborate on how the concept of brittle workflows and the lack of contextual learning specifically hinder the sort of scalability of generative AI solutions within organizations?
Brittle workflows and the lack of contextual learning are like trying to build a bridge with weak materials and no blueprints. When organizations implement generative AI solutions that are brittle, they're essentially using tools that can't adapt or just change alongside their everyday tasks. This rigidity makes it really difficult for the AI to fit seamlessly into how the organization operates, leading to a high failure rate. Imagine if you had a toy that only worked in one specific way and couldn't change when you wanted to play a different game. So that's what happens with brittle workflows. They can adjust to new situations or challenges, making them ineffective in real-world applications. On the other hand, the lack of contextual learning just means that the AI doesn't remember past interactions or learn from them. It's like having a friend who forgets everything, like you tell them every time you meet. If the AI can't recall previous conversations or adapt based on what it learned, it really struggles to provide relevant and useful responses, especially in more complex tasks. Organizations that are stuck with these static tools often find their AI pilots fail to move beyond the testing phase because they can't integrate so well with day-to-day operations. In contrast, systems that have persistent memory and can really learn from their experiences, what we call agentic AI, are better suited to handle complex workflows. These systems can evolve and adapt, making them much more effective in delivering real value to the organization. In summary, brittle workflows and the absence of contextual learning prevent generative AI solutions from scaling effectively as they fail to align with the dynamic needs of the business.
What kind of role do external partnerships play in overcoming the challenges associated with implementing generative AI solutions, and how do they compare to internal building efforts in terms of success rates?
External partnerships play a really crucial role in overcoming the challenges of implementing generative AI solutions. Just think of it like building a house. If you hire experienced builders who know how to construct a strong foundation and design the house properly, you're more likely to end up with a pretty sturdy home. Similarly, organizations that collaborate with external partners for follow often have specialized knowledge and resources tend to have better success rates with their AI initiatives. So the data shows that projects developed through strategic partnerships are twice as likely to reach full deployment compared to those built internally. This is like having a friend who knows how to bake a cake actually helping you in the kitchen. their experience can lead to a much better outcome than if you tried to bake it alone without any guidance. So, additionally, tools created through these partnerships see nearly double the usage rates among employees, indicating that they're more effective and user-friendly. So, in contrast, internal development efforts, while more commonly attempted, have really significantly lower success rate. This could be due to a variety of factors such as limited expertise or resources within the organization, akin to trying to build that house without the right tools or knowledge, just kind of overall. While both internal and external approaches can be combined, relying on external partnerships appears to be a more effective strategy for successfully implementing generative AI solutions.
So how does the phenomenon of the shadow AI economy, where employees use personal AI tools for work, reflect on the limitations of enterprise-grade AI solutions? And what implications does this have for organizations trying to leverage generative AI so effectively?
The shadow AI economy reflects significant limitations of enterprise-grade AI solutions by highlighting how employees are turning to personal AI tools to get their work done more effectively. So imagine if a school only provided students with outdated textbooks, while the students found online resources that were much more engaging and useful. So this is kind of similar to what's happening in organizations, like employees are using tools like ChatGPT on their own, because these tools are flexible and responsive, delivering better results than the official tools provided by their companies. This situation reveals a fundamental tension, like workers are experiencing productivity gains with personal AI tools, which often have the learning and memory capabilities that enterprise solutions lack. So it's like having a smartphone that remembers your favorite apps and settings versus using an old flip phone that can only do basic tasks. So employees become frustrated with static enterprise tools that don't adapt to their needs, creating a feedback loop where they demand better solutions. So the shadow AI economy shows that individuals can successfully navigate the GenAI divide when given the right tools, Organizations that recognize this trend can learn from the tools like employees are using and find ways to integrate those successful features into their official system. By analyzing which personal tools provide real value, companies can develop enterprise solutions that are probably more aligned with the employee needs. In summary, the shadow AI economy highlights the shortcomings of current enterprise-grade AI solutions and suggests that organizations need to adapt by learning from the tools, like employees are already using, to leverage generative AI so effectively.
What kind of investment patterns are observed in organizations regarding generative AI initiatives, particularly in the allocation of budgets towards different functions, and how might this affect their overall return on investment?
Investment patterns in organizations regarding generative AI initiatives reveal a strong focus on sales and marketing, which captures about half of the budget allocated for AI tools. So it's just like putting most of your money into flashy decorations for a party instead of investing in the food and entertainment that will truly make the event enjoyable. This concentration on sales and marketing may stem from the ease of measuring their impact, even though back-office automation often provides better returns on investment. Despite significant investments ranging from 30 to 40 billion, 95% of organizations are not actually seeing any return from their AI initiative.
This indicates a disconnect between where the money is being spent and where real value can be created. So,
just like 5% of AI pilots are generating substantial value, while most remain ineffective, similar to spending a lot on an expensive gadget that doesn't work. As expected, the heavy allocation towards sales and marketing reflects a bias that keeps organizations focused on immediate visible metrics rather than just exploring areas that might yield greater long-term benefits. For instance, back-office functions, which are often overlooked, could provide more significant returns if really given proper funding and attention. In summary, so the current investment patterns in generative AI initiatives may hinder organizations from achieving a strong return on investment, as they're prioritizing areas that don't necessarily lead to meaningful transformation or value creation.
So, how can organizations shift their approach to generative AI to ensure that they're not only investing in the right areas, but also fostering a culture of continuous improvement and adaptation to really maximize their returns?
Organizations can shift their approach to generative AI by focusing on several key strategies to ensure they invest in the right areas and promote a culture of continuous improvement. First, they should consider moving from building their own AI tools to buying existing solutions that are already effective. So this is like choosing to buy a ready-made cake instead of trying to bake one from scratch. By partnering with vendors who provide learning-capable and well-integrated AI systems, so organizations can benefit from tools that adapt and improve over time. Second, fostering a culture of distributed experimentation is so essential. This means encouraging different teams within the organization to try out various AI tools and approaches without waiting for central approval. So it's like allowing kids to explore different games rather than just enforcing just one. This experimentation can lead to discovering what actually works best for their specific needs and workflows. Additionally, organizations should establish clear accountability for AI initiatives. So this involves defining roles and responsibilities to ensure that everyone understands their part in the process. So it's similar to having a team captain who guides the players during a game, helping them work together effectively. Finally, organizations should always embrace the rise of prosumer adoption where employees use personal AI tools for work. By recognizing and learning from the tools that employees are already using so successfully, organizations can adapt their strategies to incorporate those insights into their official AI initiatives. In summary, so by shifting their focus towards buying effective solutions, encouraging experimentation, establishing accountability, and learning from employee usage, organizations can create a culture that maximizes their returns on generative AI investment.
So thank you all for joining us for what has been a truly illuminating discussion. We've journeyed deep into the landscape of generative AI, exploring the significant challenges organizations encounter and transforming their investments into real-world business outcomes. Our conversation today really underscored the reality of the GenAI divide. So we learned that so many initiatives struggle to yield returns due to a confluence of factors like the difficulty in accurately measuring AI's impact, a prevalent lack of trust in these new technologies, and an often narrow focus on sales and marketing at the expense of other vital functions. Brittle workflows and the lack of contextual learning further compound these issues, often leading to really failed implementation. A key takeaway was the undeniable advantage of external partnerships, demonstrating how specialized knowledge so dramatically enhances success rates. Projects developed through collaboration are significantly more likely to achieve full deployment compared to just purely internal endeavor. We also touched upon the intriguing shadow AI economy, where employees are leveraging personal AI tools to actually boost their productivity. This highlights the current limitations of many enterprise-grade solutions and really emphasizes the critical need for organizations to adapt and learn from these user-driven innovations. It's clear that current investment patterns, often favoring specific areas, aren't always translating into value creation, with many organizations still seeking substantial returns on their AI initiatives. However, the path forward is not always without solutions. To improve outcomes, organizations must strategically purchase effective solutions, foster an environment of experimentation, establish clear accountability for AI initiatives, and so crucially leverage the insights gained from how employees are already so successfully using personal AI tools. These strategies are essential for cultivating a culture of continuous improvement and ultimately maximizing the return on generative AI investments. A massive thank you to our expert researcher for sharing such profound insights and helping us navigate these really complex waters. And to all of you, our audience. So thank you for tuning in and engaging with us. We hope this discussion provides really valuable guidance for your own journeys with generative AI. Until next time, goodbye.